Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the beginning of another Ashtoons road trip after my hiatus, fighting with terrible kidney pains and then finally passing a kidney stone, which I hope never happens to me again, and losing a full weekend of work. The first half of the Suwannee County Fair in Live Oak, Florida, completely lost, but we're going to try to make it there for the second half. So we're leaving today, it's a late start on Tuesday, April the 19th, 2021, and it took me a lot longer to get everything prepped up than I thought. It's practically sunset out here, so yeah, I'm just going to keep driving today and get as many miles behind me as I can and stop somewhere and sleep, and then we're going to get down there as soon as I can. Dashiell's over here looking at me like, what the heck, man? Why are we doing this? This is about the time we normally go to bed, isn't it? All right. All that out of the way, I want to thank you all for sticking with me and for praying with me and sending all of your encouragement. And finally, yes, I'm feeling like 110% better. But guys, I have been working on trying to finish the story, and it has been a slog. And it's starting to take on a very weirdly nihilistic tone. And I'm wanting to take a break from this. I'm wondering if I'm even going to finish it, to be honest with you. So I'm going to switch to something else. Now, you guys know that just recently I found that two-parter HBO series called John Adams that I really liked, and it was set in the late 1700s around the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Really loved that, so I'd like to find a little more material kind of set in that same period. So I found this, and it's by Janet Oakes and T. David Dunn. I've heard of Janet Oakes, but it looks like T. David Dunn, I think, is also a well-known Christian writer, and they're teaming up to make this little short story. It's just called The Distant Beacon. Right, and it says, in England, together at the Harrell Estates, Anna and Nicole find themselves facing divergent futures. While Anna comfortably settles into British life, Nicole once again searches the far horizons. Despite the raging war of independence, she sets sail for the American colonies to manage her uncle's land holdings. The gallant Captain Goodwin captures Nicole's attention, but not yet her heart. In the midst of revolution, her loyalties and faith are tested beyond what she could have ever imagined. Then she comes face to face with a staggering betrayal, and she is forced to choose her ultimate alliance. I'm guessing that's probably between Britain and America. Gee, I wonder which one she's going to choose. Like I said, though, this one's only 2 cassettes long. We've got a long drive ahead of us, so this is only going to be the beginning. And then I'm going to switch over to this one, simply entitled 1776, which was the year of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It was not actually the beginning of the war. There was lots of conflicts with Britain at the coasts and most of the ports long before that. Lots of skirmishes, fighting happening even before the signing of the Declaration and official beginning of the Revolutionary War. The intensely human story of those who marched with General George Washington in the year of the Declaration of Independence, when the whole American cause was riding on their success, without which all hope of independence would have been dashed, and the noble idea of the Declaration would have amounted to little more than words on paper. Well, it sounds like it might be a little dry and boring. Hopefully it's not going to be like a history lecture, whatever. Hopefully they've got some actual character development and some people that you can actually follow along on their journey, and it's not just a bunch of locations and dates and whatnot. But if that does get a little too stale, I've got a couple of others kind of set in that same period. These are by the late Rush Limbaugh. This one is simply called The Brave Pilgrims, and then also The First Patriots, which I actually found still sealed. So yeah, if this one turns out to be too boring, I've got backups. So I'll give you a report on starting with this one, and then whatever ones of these I go on to once I get done with them. All right, guys, let's head out. Woohoo! Starting another road trip. So excited. Let's go. Well, good Wednesday morning now. Well, the next day, and I have got some terrible bedhead. Made it as far as Gainesville, Georgia by 1 o'clock in the morning last night. And then stopped in at a Walmart parking lot and, of course, slept in. It is now 9 o'clock in the morning. Now that I've decided to take a break from coffee for a while and just drink sparkling water, I think I'm going to try one of these sparkling waters that's actually got caffeine right in it. I don't like buying a Coke product, but I don't see any other sparkling waters that has that. On the drive last night, I was drinking a couple of these here. The Sparkling Ice Caffeine, which I found at a Dollar General, which I'm sure they're not nearly as hard on your kidneys as coffee, but they still felt like there was a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. So hopefully this will be a little more what I'm gonna need. Made it all the way through the first story. This one did not turn out to be as estrogen-soaked petticoat as I thought it was going to be. As a matter of fact, most of the story actually followed Captain Greg Goodwin here. It was actually more his story than hers. You wouldn't know that by the cover, although there was still plenty of that fluffy, romantic nonsense that comes from Miss Janet Oakes in there. But I would say it surprised me with how good it was. And it was a very judicious use of pages. I liked how it got to the point of the story and didn't seem to really miss any of the high points either. So now we are on to 1776. Just stopped to fill up, and while I was in the Loves, I found that Bubbly actually makes a caffeinated sparkling water. This one is mango passion fruit flavored. So, nice alternative to the Coke product, hopefully. Oh, actually better. That's got a better flavor to it. Wow, than the lemon and green tea. Looks like we're finally here. Because I'm getting here after opening time, I have to park my truck back here and walk it in there, load by load, using this wagon here that they let me use, which is, that much is nice. I was thinking that I wasn't even going to be able to work at all today, so even being able to do this, that's a win. Well, it's Wednesday night and I'm back at work. Back where I belong. And it's getting close to closing time now. Kind of a slow start, we're gonna call it. It's Wednesday night. It's Thursday morning now. How many times have they repainted this floor? Always wear your shower sandals. Stank of 2 days on the road. Whew, refreshing. Oh, look at this. Even the cattle's getting a bath this morning. So first place I'm going to stop is at the Busy Bee, which is basically a Buc-ee's, but smaller scale. I mean, a Buc-ee's all the way down to the way the bathroom looks and the way that they have the fudge counter and everything in there. I think they get a lot of their business from people that are coming from the Spirit of Suwannee Music Festival. It happens quarterly out here. Okay, so they're calling them bee bites. But yeah, it's basically their version of beaver nuggets. Looks like they still have the mushroom jerky. It's mushrooms that have been dried and spiced like jerky. I'm gonna go with teriyaki. Okay, I was wrong about one thing. This is actually partly a truck stop. These little 18-wheelers, you can actually see one there behind me. There is a side of the gas station that fills up diesel 18-wheeler trucks. According to the cashier that I talked to, the concept for Buc-ee's was actually discussed between either they were business partners or close friends, and they recognized it was a really good idea. One separated and became Busy Bee, and the other started the success of Buc-ee's, whereas Busy Bee is a little smaller and does cater to the diesel 18-wheelers. It's avocado oil, sweet potato chips, and then right below it says BBQ. Okay, and then it says kettle cooked below that. This is a lot of A lot of print, all in just the name of describing the chip itself, but it does have the confirmed non-GMO sticker there. So let's give that a little taste test before we head on to the next thing. It's a smoky barbecue. It really does taste like barbecue from a grill. You can have that little bit of smoke in there. It's as good as advertised. I'm in the clearance aisle at Walmart now. Take a look at this. Turbo Man from Jingle All the Way. They look exactly like the release that came out during the time of the movie. Exactly like them. Complete in box at $25 with the jetpack. The visor is still there. I wonder if the boomerang. The boomerang's got to be something. Yeah, boomerang's over here. Goes down in the side of the boot. You push the button, and he says, "It's turbo time." There's a whole row of them here. $25. So while I got a few minutes, I might as well do a little thrifting, starting this place over here. Second Chance Consignments. Okay, what's the story here? I hate it when they stack their movies sideways like this. It makes them so much harder to look through. I'm not about to go through all these, especially when they're double stacked where you gotta pull this side out to see what's back there. Now that's an old-timey hand-painted cover. Looks like a Drew Struzan or something. Probably not, though. The Land of Far Away. There's a skinny Santa Claus with a lamb and a lion and a peace sign in between them. 5 easy bake ovens on a shelf. And then we've got a green clothed Santa Claus on a razor. It says Go Go Scooter Santa. He's even got his own backpack. It's been a day for finding weird Santa Claus. Guinness Book of World Records, Gamer Edition. Gamers Edition. Oh my goodness. It's a ceramic coated cast iron Dutch oven. Solid. Coated inside and out. Oh my goodness. Well used, but still very valuable. Set at $25. I'm actually tempted, but I think I've got one at home. It's only the one I have at home is only coated on the inside. This one's this is a little better. I kind of want it. Again, thrift stores seem to know what their cast iron is worth. They've got this one set at $25. So that box full of old VHSs turned out to be very interesting. After I got to looking through it, I got actually a good stack, but there's only 3 here that I think are interesting enough to show off. Starting with that one that was like right on the top that really caught my eye. This one here, The Land of Far Away. 11-year-old Boss Oisen, who lives in Stockholm with his overbearing Aunt Eden. Boss learns that his name is Mayo and that he is the king's long-lost son. The evil knight from the neighboring land outside has kidnapped and placed terrible spells on most of the kingdom's children. According to an ancient legend, only a male child of royal blood can destroy Cato and deliver the children. The journey is This sounds a lot like a description that was translated from another language, pretty much given the whole synopsis of the entire movie. I'm going to stop there. I want to see it. I want to see the whole movie. Alright, then I also found Towering Inferno, which was one of the first big disaster movies, natural disaster movies. And I actually went on a ride, I think in Universal. I think it was Universal Backlot or something like that. That was based on this. As a kid, it kind of scared me. I doubt that ride is still there. I didn't realize Steve McQueen was one of the main characters. I've never actually seen the whole movie. It looks like Tombstone, Law and Order style, rundown type movie. But then you flip it around, there's the spacesuit here. It turns out it's actually science fiction. Lo, Jupiter's innermost moon is the godforsaken site of Con Am 27, a mining colony and high-tech hellhole populated by the same breed of misfits and losers that once roamed the dusty streets of Dodge City. Faced with a series of gritty, frenzied deaths among the miners, and alone in pursuit of the truth. Okay, now this is a good description. This draws you in and sets the picture really quick. Did you know Sean Connery was in a movie like this? Just imagine, this is the same guy that was in Zardos, right? Now he's in this obviously alien-inspired Law and Order movie of dusty, gritty miners somewhere on a moon around Jupiter. So now we're going into Melody Church charity store. Look at this big old dinosaur. The thing is huge. It looks like it actually shoots Nerf balls or something. It's another soda stream. Sometimes I'm tempted to get them just because, yeah, like this one, it's still got the canister in the back. The canister itself is worth like 15 bucks. So I could just get it, take the canister out and throw it away, but then if there's somebody that comes along that actually wants one. Whoa, look at this. That is a big old Foreman grill. Yeah, that's... family has come into town. Size Foreman grill right there. Well, the only thing I ended up buying while I was in there, the only thing that really caught my attention was a single 27-cent VHS tape. And this is it here. I guess it's just a day for VHSs. This one is just called Call the Cops, and even though this main character's face is kind of shadowed on the front cover, that is John Candy. I had to look it up to make sure I haven't already seen this, because I saw another movie where he played a police officer that was called Only the Lonely, which is kind of a rom-com. I kind of enjoyed it. But I didn't know that he played a police officer in more than one movie, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining. It's John Candy. It's terrible decisions on the screen capture here. Just a couple of downward shots of him in a suit, an ill-fitting suit, looking derpy. It's about 10:30 at night now, and I just cleared out my line. I actually stayed busy, solid, one after the other for at least the last three to 4 hours. So, feels good to be back. It's 9:45 on Sunday morning now. The fair ended last night. Last night was the last night. There's my booth right there, because I don't want to have to work on it until after I get back from church. The church I've chosen this morning is this one, Little Home Missions, called Apostolic Lighthouse Church. And if I'm going to keep doing this, at some point I've got to get myself some dress shoes.
That word pleasure in the Hebrew means heat. It's because you've got your spirit loose and you won't let God tame it. When God speaks to you time and time again, you say, you know what, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way. You really don't want to hear what God's got to say. I'm telling you, I know you don't want to hear it. Amen. Don't expect me to fix it. I'm not the one that can fix it.
Today's sermon was one of those where the pastor truly demonstrated that he is not going to preach what people want to hear, but what people need to hear. And that is showing some real ethics. and what really pastors really need to be about. This church is going to grow fast. I can tell that. A big reason why is because there was tons of young families, lots of little kids running around, and kids don't stay kids very long. Also, that church is pretty much at capacity already. And I say that because when you come into a church and all the pews are filled up to about 80%, that should be considered 100%, because families don't want to sit shoulder to shoulder with other families. There needs to be a little space there. And so 80% is, after that, trying to get visitors to come in and start attending the church gets a lot harder, because they're having to be in closer, and being a visitor is already uncomfortable. But to try to overcome that new person uncomfortableness, and also the crowding uncomfortableness, it starts to become very hard to get new people to come in after you're about 80% full. You need space, and they know that. I talked to the pastor, and they're actually paying off 2 acres of land, and they're going to build a new church on it. This one they're actually only renting. But if I was an investor in predicting, the growth of a church, I would say put money into this one, because this one's going to grow very fast. And yeah, there was a very lively, loud, noisy, bustling, raucous spirit in that church that is infectious. It's going to bring people in, and it's going to grow. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like when I come out here again for the Suwannee County Fair next year, because I'm betting it's going to be probably in a new building, probably even bigger. All right, so the pastor's name is Pastor Dustin Bell, and he used to be an evangelist. Now he's settled up with his own church, and it is going wonderfully. There's their information right there. Focus. And so, all right, that's it for that. Let's get on back to the fairgrounds and get packed up. We got to get on out of here. With the sun setting in the horizon, we're heading back out on the road again. How you doing there, Dashel? Ready for another road trip? This one's going to be a short one. Leaving the fairgrounds, leaving Live Oak. Hope to be able to come back again this time next year. And that is going to be it for this one. As far as how profitable were things, I would have done so much better if I had been here for the first weekend. But I'm definitely well into the black. No marker drops. We had mostly half days. If you have enjoyed this, make sure to let me know by giving me the good old thumbs up, subscribble, turn on the noties when you do. I will talk to you down in the comments, and next up is going to be the Isle of Eight Flags Shrimp Festival on Amelia Island, the city of Fernandina Beach, Florida. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.